Hi, welcome back to BuonaPappa. Are you ready to bake? Because today we're going to prepare together almond and pumpkin cookies. It's a lovely Italian cookie recipe that is using all the full flavors from pumpkin to pumpkin pie spices, cinnamon and nutmeg. And the final result are these lovely, small, nice, soft inside cookies that are perfect for babies, toddlers, and for the rest of the family. Let's start together preheating the oven at 400 degrees. This recipe is so simple that you can really prepare it with your toddler with no stress. It's a perfect bake with me recipe because you just need to mix together all the ingredients, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a nice big bowl and we're going to add the flour, the baking powder, the sugar, the almond meal, the pumpkin puree, crack the egg, and also add the avocado oil. I'm mixing everything together to obtain a kind of sticky but still compact dough. I already prepared my baking sheet lined with some parchment paper, and now using two spatulas because they are in silicone and so the dough will not stick to the spatula, I'm going to create small balls of 1 tablespoon of mix each. And I'm going to place each cookie ball one next to the other, leaving some space on the parchment paper. In a small bowl, I'm going to mix together 2 teaspoons of sugar with 1 teaspoon of pumpkin spice mix. If you do not have the pumpkin spice mix, you can mix together cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom too, and create a nice full flavor mix. I'm going to sprinkle on top of my cookies the sugar and pumpkin spice mix, and then I'm going to bake my cookies in the preheated oven at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. When you remove the cookies from the oven, don't worry, they might look soft on the surface, but once they will cool down, the surface will be nice and kind of crunchy, and the inside will be super fluffy and soft. These cookies are perfect for breakfast snack, after school snack, or after dinner snack, and they are appropriate for little ones, even starting from 6 months of age. Just break a tiny piece up to 100 years of age. It's super easy, as you can see, and if you're worried about the almond and you want a nut-free version, no worries. You can simply substitute the almond meal amount with regular flour amount. It will be lovely too. Few tips about this recipe. Should I use fresh pumpkin or should I use the canned one? To be honest, it's totally up to you. Both ways, they work very well. If you want to use the fresh pumpkin, you might want to check out this video here, how to make a pumpkin puree from a fresh pumpkin. And what I usually do is that I take a big pumpkin, so I would say 3 sizes of this one, so that I roast all my pumpkin, I make my pumpkin puree, and then I freeze it, so that when I need it for my recipe, it's already ready to be used in the freezer. Or you can it's totally fine to use the canned pumpkin puree. I would suggest to use a good brand. Check the ingredients. It should be only pumpkin, nothing else. And you can just add it to the mix. Totally works. How to store the cookies? Easy. You simply store them on the countertop, not covered. They need the air to keep the surface kind of with a nice crust. And I would store them for up to 4 or 5 days. They're fresh cookies, but I'm sure that they will be gone before that. Sugar substitutions. So the amount of sugar used in this recipe is very low. We're only using half a cup for the whole amount of cookies, and it's not a lot. Still, if you want to substitute regular sugar, you can with maple syrup, same amount, or date syrup, same amount. Also, the topping. Instead of using 2 teaspoons of sugar with the spices, you can use 2 teaspoons of shredded unsweetened coconut with the spices. Maybe you can blend them so that it becomes a powder and just sprinkle up top. that will furthermore reduce the sugar amount of this recipe. But I really think that moderation is the key. So just a bit of sugar here and there is not bad. I really hope you're going to enjoy this recipe. If you have any questions, leave them in the area here below. I will try to reply as soon as I can. If you really want me to reply as soon as possible to your questions, you have another option. I do have BuonaPappa guides, so basically it's a one-to-one consultation where you will have all my time and you can ask me whatever you want. The link for the guides is here below. As always, the most important thing, remember to subscribe if you want to receive and be notified when I post a new recipe. And we're going to see each other next week with a new one. Ciao, ciao, ciao.